Redstone Challenge. Just like in the video, please build a device where the comparator turns off when the copper bulb lights up and turns on when it goes out. Video audio is muted, difficulty 5 stars. This is a tweet from a redstoner named Nucospin, and it comes with a 27-second video showing off some seemingly impossible Minecraft behavior. Just for some context, this is a copper bulb, a block that toggles on and off when it receives a pulse, and it can be read out by a comparator. Normally, the comparator turns on when the bulb is on, and off when the bulb is off. Makes perfect sense. So now let's see what Nucospin posted. It's backwards. How is that even possible? For years, I built a reputation of being the redstone puzzle guy in my YouTube shorts. I was the bamboozler, and all of you guys watching were supposed to be the bamboozled. But today, it was me that was bamboozled. Nucospin has a few puzzles on their account, and they usually post a solution to their challenges just a few days later. So if I wanted to figure this out for myself, I was on borrowed time. First thing I did was not immediately solve this puzzle, but I looked at all the other puzzles that were posted because I wanted to know what made Nucospin tick. What kind of game mechanics did they use? How complicated are their puzzles? And can I use this info to predict what other tricks they might pull? Let me give you guys a warm-up of how to go about solving one of these puzzles. This is another post that Nucospin made, and the video shows a torch being placed on the ground, lighting up a redstone lamp on the wall. And it's mentioned that the video is muted. So how does this work? There's actually a very big hint hidden in plain sight, the iron blocks, and the fact that the torch needs to be placed on the very corner of the floor for this to work. Because behind this wall is an iron golem setup. When the torch is placed, an iron golem can't form, so this dispenser won't place the pumpkin. But when the space is free, an iron golem can form, so this pumpkin gets dispensed and collected by this hopper, letting us take an output with this comparator. Okay, so why did I bring all this up? Well, let's go back at the original copper bulb video. Does anything weird stand out? Like, why are there 2 comparators and not 1? Why is this copper bulb being activated with an observer? And what is the muted audio hiding? Like, the first thing I thought, because it said it had muted audio, is something that I actually used in my last video with the zero-tick iron doors, where I actually had everyone in the recording turn down their block sound so they couldn't hear all the super fast 20Hz clocks, and I think Nucospin is doing something similar. So I want to try hooking up some of the clocks from the doors from the last video into the bulb and see if it does anything. I tried attaching clocks from the doors, I tried attaching 2 clocks from the doors, I tried butting the bulb with dust redirection, and whatever other limited zero-tick BS that I could think of, but none of those solutions worked, and I was stumped. Can't seem to get it. Tweet says the audio is muted, which is a big hint, and there's 2 comparators. I still feel like it might be a 20Hz clock, maybe one that lands in a different tick phase than my other 3. Maybe somehow a 20Hz clock that lands in the tile tick phase. You free? As much as people ask me in my Discord DMs and my YouTube comments how I got good at redstone and how I can teach them, here is a general answer for any future versions of those questions. You know, you can actually clip this too if you want. Guys, I fucking suck at redstone. No, really, just look at how often I actually make a video on a thing that I built. It's been like twice a year since 2023, and for a puzzle like this, I needed help from people who are way smarter than me. So let's meet the squad. Mycorific, our source of technical Minecraft know-how and random sub-tick mechanics, also self-described as very bad at wiring. Sacred, piston door extraordinaire and compact wiring expert, world record holder of the smallest 3x3. He's also the token furry of the group. And finally me. I occasionally throw a good idea out there, sometimes. Maybe. So we hopped on a call and got to work testing random redstone things for the next 3 hours.
I think if we make sure that we power them in sequence, we just have to make sure that right? You just power them in like a wave. It's still on. It's not held on.
Okay, you know what? While they figure out the redstone stuff, I'm gonna help you guys figure out how to get a free PC with today's sponsor, Ironside. Hey, hold on. I see you guys skipping ahead. You know, the rising RAM price is going into the stratosphere right now. This may be something worth listening to. Ironside is doing a giveaway where 3 of you can win a free PC with free shipping. Third place gets a computer valued at $2,100, second place $2,900, and the first place prize gets a PC valued at $4,300 with 64 gigs of RAM. And the coolest part about this giveaway is that if you're lucky enough to win, you can choose from a variety of custom cases, like this cool epic coder one called Terminal or Milkbox with its poppy colors and silly looking cows. So to enter this giveaway, click the link below to submit an entry. And if you want an even higher chance of winning, Ironside has been releasing hidden codes every week in their newsletters and social media posts. So if you find them, you'll get even more chances to win. Make sure you do all of this before the deadline, which is May 15th. So yeah, link below, free PC, check out Ironside Computers. Anyway, let's get back to the redstone. See, there is an interesting challenge in making this copper bulb thing work. Because Minecraft runs at 20 game ticks per second, every game tick we need to pulse this copper bulb twice, turning this dust on, off, on, off. The first pulse is so the player sees one state, and the second pulse is to reset it before the comparator can actually read it properly. Which means we don't just need a 20 hertz clock, we need to go faster with a 40 hertz clock.
So why is that not working? Because this comparator should be reading it in between, but it's not, and I don't know why.
Just abusing this copper bulb.
Zapping it with with all the electricity, every game tick.
Feels like we're trying to exploit some CPU vulnerability by zapping some stuff at the right clock cycle or whatever.
Okay, I wanna see it again. I wanna see that again. I'm gonna turn it on.
And then tick freeze.
Tick freeze. Oh, it just magically turns off, and then tick step. Oh, it's still off. Oh, and it right. No, because that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, because it makes sense, right? Yeah,
because that makes sense. So wait, hold on. Wait, spam right click on that. It briefly turns off for me when I spam right click. Is this a client side thing then?
Boom, boom.
What if you block update the bulb?
I think it's literally like a client-side thing. Because if you
it is a client-side thing.
If you right-click the bulb, if you spam it, it does turn off. Even the middle bit turns off.
This does the right thing, it's just it's not, I don't know where. So clearly it's happening while it's on. So, the bulb would also, be... here is where it would turn off.
We don't know.
Try the same thing with observers, and then we would power it with an observer, power the bulb from an observer, and then we would go into the block event phase. So the block event would turn off the cut the power from the observer, cut the dust that the observer powered, and then we would zero tick the bulb with only block events. Look at it!
Wait.
There you go.
Yo. Wait! It works! The red dot is on, but,
I don't give a shit. It's fine.
Let's go. Wait, is it spam proof, you think?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Wait. Oh my god! Wait, we did it. Let's go.
Okay, now we just need to actually conceal it under
So how did we make a redstone clock that runs faster than the actual game itself? Like I said earlier, Minecraft runs at 20 game ticks per second. But what actually is a game tick? Well, many video games, including Minecraft, run on a program loop. A game tick is just one run through of that game loop. And during that loop, Minecraft does a long list of things, but for this puzzle, we only care about 3 of those. The tile tick phase, block changes being sent to the player, and the block event phase. The tile tick phase comes first with this comparator reading from the copper bulb. Right now it's off, so the comparator will be off. Still within the tile tick phase, the slider observer turns the redstone line on, toggling the bulb. Keep in mind though, the comparator won't update yet because we haven't gotten to that part of the tick loop again. Now the block changes get sent to the player, showing them a lit copper bulb, a turned off comparator, and a powered redstone line. Next we have the block event phase, which will push this observer away, turning off the dust line, and then this second set of pistons turns the line on and off again, all within the block event phase. And now this has reset us all the way back to the beginning of the loop again, so this comparator never actually turns on. And with 4 of these modules offset 1 tick apart on a clock, this entire process can happen every single game tick. Now, I am curious to see how they made the red dot not
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to try at least to see if we can do it turned off?
This is an up to you thing.
I don't have too much more time.
I'm excited to see what their solution is with the red dot because I don't know. We decided to call it a night, and I posted our solution to Twitter. God damn it. The red dot. The one thing wrong with our version 1 solution. In case you didn't know, a copper bulb actually has two different block states, if it's toggled on or off, and if it's powered, indicated by this red dot. The problem with our build is that during the tick phase where the block changes are sent to the player, this redstone dust is still on, meaning the copper bulb dot stays on. So we need to find a way to turn this dust on and off all within the tile tick phase before the player can see it. And while I was sleeping and dreaming of copper bulbs, Micahrific, the crazy person she is, pulled an all-nighter and had version 2 by 3 p.m. the next day. And the solution was 2 redstone clocks. You know, the thing that I tried at the beginning, but I just didn't have the right 20 hertz clocks. My bad, I guess. Micah compacted it a few times until it became this beautiful dense cube of wiring, but I'm gonna use this uncompacted version to explain how it works. There are 2 20 hertz clocks in this build. This one that uses slime blocks to cut and uncut this redstone line, and another one that uses observers powering through the sand. This sand one also uses boats aligned at a specific height to make the sand instantly snap to the piston when it falls. And both clocks activate during different tick phases, the sand clock during the tile tick phase, while the other one pulses during the block event phase. So let's see what happens in the tick loop. First, the comparator tries to read the bulb, and nothing gets read. Then one of the observers in the sand clock powers and unpowers the redstone line all within the tile tick phase. Block changes are sent to the player, and they see a lit copper bulb, a depowered comparator, and unlike the version 1, a depowered redstone line. So the bulb has no red dot. The block event clock is next, and it also turns on and off the redstone line during the block event phase, taking us all the way back to the beginning of the loop. So that's it, right? Just 2 20 hertz clocks? Well, it seemed like it, so Micah posted the new solution to Twitter. Nukospin posted his solution, and well, they were basically the same. Boom, that's the end of the challenge, right? Sir, a second video has hit the timeline. By the way, Kled0328 gave me the answer via DM just 3 hours I posted the problem, and even created an advanced solution with 1 comparator. 1 comparator? Well, okay, how many does ours have? Oh, it has 2. Okay, well, surely you can just remove 1. Wait, what? If you thought looking at the phases within a game tick was the deepest we had to go, oh no, because we have to zoom in even further and look at the order within a single tick phase. However, I am too stupid, so Micah will explain this part. So, Micah lost her voice today, so instead you get my voiceover instead of Micah. So, as you now know, within a single tick, tile ticks happen first, then we see the blocks in the world, then block events happen. To understand why our solution doesn't work, we need to look entirely within the tile tick phase. Here's a simplified version of our 2 comparator solution. This comparator reads the bulb first, then the observer in the clock powers through the sand, toggling the bulb. Then the sand begins to fall, turning off the bulb, so the bulb doesn't have the red dot anymore, so the comparator reads an unlit bulb. But we see a lit bulb. Removing the second comparator reorders the list to look like this. The bulb no longer powers in between when the comparator reads it and when we see it. The reason for this reordering is because of tile tick priority. Certain tile tick blocks have priority over other ones. Repeaters facing into a repeater or comparator have priority over repeaters turning off, which have a priority over repeaters turning on, and comparators facing into a repeater or a comparator, which have a priority over everything else. So by putting a second comparator, we give the one out from the copper bulb priority over the observer in the clock, so the comparator reads the bulb first. And therefore, by removing that comparator, we remove that priority, meaning the observer in the clock happens first. To make it work with 1 comparator, we need to make sure the observers in the clock happen after the comparator reads the bulb, within the same priority. When 2 tile tick blocks have the same priority, which one happens first is determined by the order in which they are scheduled. The comparator is scheduled in the tile tick phase, so by powering the observers in the clock with pistons instead of more observers, we can force them to be scheduled after the comparator, because block events happen after tile ticks. So now, 2 ticks later, when the scheduled tile ticks are actually happening, the comparator will read the bulb before the observers in the clock power. So there we go, we've solved the puzzle. There's just one small, tiny little problem. The note block doesn't work. To understand why this doesn't work, we need to add one more thing to our tick loop. Player actions, because when you see things and when you do things happen at different times. In the version that does work, with the 2 comparators, the observer from the clock is scheduled first from the tile tick phase. Then the comparator is scheduled, but it has priority over everything else, so it goes to the top of the list. Then the sand is scheduled to begin falling. Then we reach the player actions phase, where the observer from the note block is scheduled to turn on. 2 ticks later, when the list of things actually happens, it happens in this order. The bulb turns on, then off again, then on again. But while we're here, we're starting to construct the list for the next tick. One of the other observers from the clock turning on, the comparator with priority, the observer from the note block turning off, and the sand beginning to fall. It's worth noting that in this list, the observer from the no block has moved up, because it's scheduled to turn off from itself turning on, in the tile tick phase, not from the player action. So if we go through these lists and track how many times the bulb changes state, it's 2, and that means the no block is able to change the parity of the bulb, since normally the bulb is only toggled once from the tile tick phase. However, when we remove the second comparator, it moved down to here. To account for this, we scheduled the clock from the block event phase, moving it after the comparator again. But by doing this, we also move the clock to be after the no block observer turning off, meaning now it toggles the bulb 3 times, which does not change the parity of the bulb. We're in a catch-22 where making it work with one comparator makes the no block unable to toggle the bulb, but making the no block able to toggle the bulb makes it unable to work with one comparator. So you may be asking, Crafty, how do we get one observer and one comparator to work? Well, we have no clue. Gled is the only person who has managed to get this copper bulb thing working with one observer and one comparator. The closest thing we have is Micah's scuffed Underground 2 observer input version, or just using a button. But for now, this mystery is unsolved, unless Kled or someone else reveals the solution. And I really hope he doesn't reveal it right before my video, please, oh god. This is the redstone. Oh, dang, it's not on. Okay. What in tarnation is
What
this?
in tarnation is that?
Okay, hold on.
I'm using input bug for the input. Lovely, my favorite.
Pause.
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 Pause. Wait.
Okay, how do I keep track of this? Okay, so this one doesn't work with red. Failure. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pause. Wait, what did I do? Wait. It wasn't working before, right? I swear we had this on recording.
Is it that easy? They don't have a block. They don't have a block event. It's just 2 of them.
It's just two of
those,
but offset.
Yeah.
It's all tile tick. Always has been.
So it's just a 40. It's just a 40 hertz tile tick clock.
This side is different. What is this? Hello?
Oh my fucking god. Is that how they're doing it? I'm losing my fucking mind.
I'm assuming the stone block is doing something. I don't know what, but it's doing something.
No, it is. It is. So the note block is updating the sand to make it fall faster.
The note block updates the sand to make it fall faster.
Yes.
What? These use observers to update the sand, and these use note blocks to update the sand. TLDR, the very terrible truncated understanding of what you've been telling me is that we've been using all of these fancy clocks within the block event phase and the tile tick phase, and they're like...
The answer is entirely in tile tick.
Yeah, they just put everything in tile tick, and the only way that makes it from 20 to 40 hertz is updating the sands at a slightly different time. Yeah, I don't think anyone was gonna get this. I genuinely think nobody was getting this. Nobody was...
I thought about it, and I was like, no, that's not practical.